Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. Our story here is regarding the breaking news that the Florida Senate has in fact passed a bill that removes and dissolves Disney of its special self-governing status. And what I want to zoom in on here is, well, what is Reedy Creek? What is this status? How does it affect Disney, the employees, the taxpayers? And then also, what are the different options that are still on the table for Disney and these localities? I'm going to zoom in on the Daily Wire here, and then I'm going to roll into my notes that answers all those questions I just presented. Folks, if you like this kind of content, if you want to support a conservative, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and share this link with your friends and family all over social media. With that being said, Daily Wire says, Florida's Republican-led Senate passed a bill, I believe it was 23-16, on Wednesday that eliminates a special taxing district that allows Walt Disney Co. to govern the land where its theme park is located. The measure potentially delivers a blow to the company's operations in the state, the Wall Street Journal reported. The special district, created in 1967 and known as the Reedy Creek Improvement District, which again, I'm going to go over in a moment, exempts Disney from a host of regulations and certain taxes and fees related to emergency services and road maintenance. And it's not just limited to that. Again, I'll zoom in on this in a moment. The report noted that the special taxing district reportedly saves Disney tens of millions of dollars per year. The bill now heads to Florida's Republican-led House, where it is expected to pass. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has already signaled that he will sign the bill into law, quoting, "What I would say as a matter of first principle is I don't support special privileges in law just because a company is powerful and they've been able to wield a lot of power," DeSantis said during a press conference last month. Quote, "I think what has happened is there's a lot of special privileges that are not justifiable, but because Disney has had so much sway, they'll be able to sustain a lot of special treatment over the years." And it's not just Disney. I mean, there's other corporations and areas that carry special privileges here and self-governing privileges. But Disney here has wielded a lot of power. They're shaping the culture in some say negative ways, some say positive ways. But this removal and dissolving of their special self-governing status is going to impact Disney, their employees, and the taxpayers. So first, what the heck is Reedy Creek? Because we're hearing this all over the place. This lies within Orange and Osceola County, and it has its own police department, fire department, sewers, as well as their own commissioners as well. Basically, it's all controlled by Disney. Disney runs the show without any outside interference coming in. And what's going to happen is this is going to impact and can fast track decisions and projects within Disney. So with Disney being able to basically regulate itself, they're able to build and upgrade in their improvements rather quickly, which is why you see a lot of their theme parks and things in the area ultimately getting built super fast because they're basically drawing their own permits and signing off on them. Whereas once this is removed, that's going to have massive ramifications because now they have to go with the outside sources and go through all that red tape. Well, how could this impact Disney, their employees, and the taxpayers? Well, experts say that part of Disney World operations would merge with counties or the counties in the area, meaning Orange and Osceola counties, by June 1st, 2023. And they're given this time, which isn't a lot of time because it takes quite a bit of resources to merge all these things together, meaning the fire department, the sewers, the roads, the police services. All those services have to be ultimately absorbed by those counties or localities. Well, Disney would have to go to outside areas, meaning the governance, to get permission to make changes or upgrades to its facilities, which is going to impact Disney a lot because it's going to slow down their growth. Disney is always improving. I live in Orange County here in California, and I see how fast Disney makes their changes. One day, heck, they'll have all this stuff up. You come back a month later, the thing is totally refurbished, totally done because they don't have to go through all that red tape like they do in other places, say like Universal Studios, for example. Well, it would rely on state and local authorities to pave its roads. Now, this does potentially create a problem for taxpayers. Recently, in the past, Universal Studios Orlando created roads that ultimately made it easier and created access for theme park goers to get to their park. And it cost like $200 million to create this road, which the taxpayers had to pay for. So that is one avenue here where it does hurt the taxpayers. Also, these services that are being quoted, meaning like the fire department, police services, supposedly have been at a loss from anywhere of like $970 million to $1.02 billion. So again, the taxpayers are going to have to foot this bill. So it does have consequences here. It's not just like, oh, great, we're screwing over Disney, this is awesome. It does affect people, not just Disney in a negative way, not just the taxpayers, and really the employees. It doesn't really matter so much. They're just going to be ultimately merging with the county. So important concept here is that this would tie up a lot of Disney's buildings and improvements in red tape, which is kind of giving them the middle finger saying, look, you want to sit there and push this LGBTQ stuff. If you want to continue to push this trans stuff down our throats, then you know what? You can deal with the red tape. You can kind of delay your productions and maybe get some of your permits not accepted through localities or the county. It would delay a lot of Disney's construction projects, which we just noted, and employees would be transferred into the county's payroll, which again isn't that big of a deal. It is a massive payroll because Disney is by far Florida's largest employer. So I would say that it's not like there's no ramifications here. There are some for the taxpayer. They're just going to have to absorb that. Well, there's a few different options that are still on the table here in terms of this bill being passed. There's 3 of them. One is that they could reverse course in January after the election is over. 2, they could go through with it, but Orange and Osceola counties could end up still giving Disney their special self-governing privilege just on a local level. And the last one, which is probably the best option for Disney, is to ultimately sue and win in court. And the reason why a lot of people are saying they would win in court is because the state law requires a district gets dissolved in the same way it was created. That's a problem here because some are saying it would win because Reedy Creek was not created during a special session. So that's what they're trying to do here is through a special session, pass a law, pass a bill effectively that removes and dissolves this special self-governing district here. So because of that, this wasn't created in a special session. So they're saying, hey, you know what? Through unprecedented, this has never happened before. So ultimately, they would win in court, and then we'd maybe have to see if Ron DeSantis would go through this again. Who knows? I don't know if he would take the time to go through all this again and have the Senate formulate this. It was kind of a close passing. Like I said, 23-16 isn't by huge numbers here. But with that being said, you know, everybody's going to kind of take a hit. I mean, yeah, that's great if you're going against Disney right now, taking tens of millions of dollars of a hit because they're losing that tax revenue. And if you're kind of wondering, how does that really work? How does Disney lose that tax revenue? Well, because they're self-governing, they create that revenue themselves. They tax whatever rates they want themselves. They get to choose that. Again, they have their own commissioners. They have their own self-governing body that they've created. So they're bringing in that revenue through taxes. And yes, they'll pay for all those services, the roadways, the improvements, the fire department, police department, all those things through that revenue. But if they don't have that anymore, now they absolutely lose that. Also, too, like I said, Disney's constantly making a lot of improvements. So that red tape, if you don't like Disney, is a positive for you because it's going to slow down everything they're trying to do. And like I said, Disney is always changing. That's one of Walt Disney's main things he's pushed is that the park will never be completed. The park is always going to change. And so if they have to go through that red tape, you know, that's a plus for those that don't like Disney because it slows them down. It slows their growth down and they can't make changes just willy-nilly whenever they would like. Now, some might say, well, what's going on with the employees, the payroll? Do they transfer then into more of a public type of employment rather than a private public employment, meaning one loses possibility of their 401k versus a pension? I don't have the details on that. I don't know if those employees roll into a public employee pension fund. I don't know if they lose their 401k if they had one before. I don't even know if they had one at all in these services. So there are still some unanswered questions regarding this. But folks, I wanted to bring up the main points to all of you that at least I had questions on when I heard this trying to get passed by Florida in the first place. And again, those were, what is Reedy Creek? You know, how does this affect Disney, the employees, the taxpayers? And then what options are still left on the table? Because just because Ron DeSantis signs this thing does not mean that it's a set all be all. You're going to have Disney definitely give some pushback here. And I think most likely out of those 3 options, the one would be Disney taking it to court and possibly winning based on what the experts are saying. Like always, folks, thank you so much for joining me here on the Bald Brad Show. If you enjoy this type of stuff, if you enjoy commentary on conservative thought, the news, supernatural, all the above, folks, and you want to support a conservative and a registered Republican, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, share us with your friends and family all over social media. And folks, I will see you later here on the Bald Brad Show.